Welcome to our spoiler review of Feverborn by Karen Marie Moning. We've given up resisting the series. It's a guilty pleasure at this point, and guilty pleasures really need no justification, so we're not going to try. I mean, it's not as problematic as you think when you look at it, so we're just done.
Still think it's super problematic, but what the hell?
I
yell at it.
Yeah. It's not as bad as it could be. Some of the things, it's so overdramatic. Just like the sex scenes between Mac and Baron, you're like, no.
It's just this book's take on sex. That's the thing about it. Because in the philosophy behind this book is sex is the be-all, end-all. Like, how many times has the author said through the mouth of all of her characters that if you don't, obsess over sex,
there's something wrong.
It's because you've never had good sex.
And you're like, no.
And I'm just like, but the world is breaking. Isn't that important?
It's the one thing you get to hang on to.
Oh,
if you can find a hole or something pointy.
Oh, God. Sex is preachy. That's what it is. The sex is preachy.
I will not argue with that. That is probably the one problem. But, as for whether Mac is an independent character, she is. Honestly, I think that if her relationship with Barons wasn't working, she would leave him, and he
Well, the only reason their relationship is working is because... And she full-on says that. It's like, the only way that we can vitalize our relationship is when we fuck. And I'm just like...
I'm not gonna argue with that. That's pretty much what they got. But,
whatever, if it's what you need.
And I mean, he supports her, he trusts her decisions, he doesn't try and control her.
Funny enough, he calls her my woman, but when she thinks of him as her boyfriend, I'm not your boyfriend, Mac. I'm just like, well, what are you, Barons?
He's her sex monkey. Sex monster. I don't know. So in this book, picks up right where the last one left off, and, things are still going to shit. There are black holes now, and they are slowly expanding, gathering matter, and eventually they will destroy the city and the world, and if that happens, Fairyland is going to go with it, so all the fairies are a little worried. Everybody else has their own personal problems. People are starting to realize that Jada has come back and she's been through a lot, so it's natural that she's changed. Dancer is the one who points that out, and super grateful to him because it's true.
The one thing I noticed about her, though, is that when they reintroduced her in the last book, she was very robotic. All of her dialogue was that is not logical, and this she's talking like a person again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that just because she spent more time here? Or did you realize that, the whole robot talk isn't really going to go anywhere?
Well, I think Jada even says at one point, shit, they're getting to me. I think it might be the author, slowly working her over.
Nothing is slow in this book.
Mac is having trouble because the Shisardub is very, very quiet recently, and that's suspicious. Also, she is seeing visions of her dead sister up and walking around Dublin, and that is disturbing the fuck out of her. She's not okay with that, and so she's trying to figure out what's going on with that.
It's kind of a bit of a middle novel, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah, you don't feel like it's dragging or it's rushed at all.
And, you're given enough information that, you're being set up for a conclusion, but it's not to the point where it's like, I can skip this book and read a wiki article.
Yeah.
It's fun to still read. There's still moments that you're kind of laughing at.
Oh, there will always be moments you're laughing at, but that is what you're here for. I think what you can describe this book as is more character development and character interactions rather than a plot-focused thing, which is fine because she does her characters very well. I mean, you've got a whole love triangle between Jada and Dancer and Ruyadan, and you know what? I don't hate it.
My problem with love triangles is when that takes over the plot. It's is she going to choose him or him? And everything is dependent on her choice. And I'm just like, okay, it's happening in the background. She spends time with both of them. She enjoys spending time with both of them. Riordan gets a little bit melodramatic when no one can see it, which is funny. And I kind of think it's hilarious that here is like this millennial old creature and he's getting all like, you know, alpha male-y to like this like
16-year-old girl at one point.
Well,
14-year-old girl.
Dancer is like 18 and he's just like, you know, like, oh, I have to outman you. And Dancer's just like, the world is breaking. If I was any character in this book, I'd probably be Dancer. Just like,
hey,
y'all are being all over dramatic and shit when this is what's happening. And you guys have messed over her. You've messed over Jenny. If she wants to be Danny, if she wants to be Janice, she's still my friend. I don't care. Like, you know what? Changes her name? I'll go with it. You all are fuckers.
He's so right, too.
Yeah.
Just like...
And they're all, like, up in arms about that.
Anyways, things are finally starting to smooth over.
Lore. I named my D&D character after Lore. That is how much I love Lore.
I mean, he is ridiculous and over the top.
You know, in a book where everyone is an alpha male, he's the entertaining one, because he is, like, the spoof of alpha males. Like, he's the Viking, and, you know, he's jacked, and he's big, and he just wants to fuck, you know, like...
And he prefers blondes with big boobs.
Because blondes, they don't think. You have fun with blondes. Like a brunette, you start like, you know, a thing with a brunette, and the next thing you know, she's overanalyzing it. And there's this, like, there's one chapter, it's the best chapter in the book, where it's from his perspective. And you're just like, you are, like, you're crazy, but you're smart. But you know what? I appreciate your straightforwardness and your, like, dedication to your morals.
Like, he filters everything in his mind through sex. Like,
Yep.
that is how he understands the world.
Yep.
Like, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm like thousands of years old, and in order to remember shit and, you know, do stuff...
Go to my mind palace.
And he's like, yeah, you know, there's this hot blonde I screwed, and she's like a stapler in my head, and, you know, like, but, like, he, at the same time, he's like, he like, name drops, like, Plato and something, 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 and you're just like,
I think it's just because he's meant to be a side character. Like, as the reader, you're supposed to be attracted to Barons, and you're supposed to be attracted to Riordan, because they're, you know, two alpha males that are, like, you know, the smart, schemy one, and the whole, like, protective one, which are... And then there's Lore, who is an alpha male, who's just fucking. Like, literally just...
thinks with his dick.
And... You're not supposed to have any attachment to him. You're not supposed to be like, oh, I want to be with Lore. He's just there, and he's just doing his thing, and...
But the thing is, he has these amazing moments of just, like, absolute humanity. Like, especially with, like, Jada when she comes in. He's like, he doesn't have any problems with
Hey, honey!
He's just like, how are you? I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you're back. And
There's no bullshit. There's no bullshit
Yeah.
with him. He's just... This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. He doesn't feel the need to explain his motives to anyone. So when he finally starts explaining how the Mind Palace works to Jo, she's just like, you're using words with more than 4 letters.
the hell?
Are you okay? And he's just like...
And I love him because though he is very motivated by sex, in some ways it makes sense, because at one point Jo's like, okay, if I come to you and I'm like, I want to have sex with you, you need to stop me. And he's like, the fuck kind of logic is that? If you want to have sex with me and I want to have sex with you, why would I stop you? And the way he says it is like, what the hell? This is why I don't date brunettes. But you're still like, he's got a point at this point. Not about the brunettes, but just like, why would he stop you?
He's just like I said, he's the spoof of the other ones. He's just doing his thing. He's loving life. He's breaking into his boss's office so he can watch himself have sex. He's just...
There are too many characters like him.
Like, you can see Chris Hemsworth playing him in, like, a really bad, like, comedy. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Like some actor who's just not Channing Tatum.
Yeah, Channing Tatum as well. Just, like... Oh, I wouldn't want to say, like, a phoned-in performance, but that... He's a phoned-in...
Over the top.
He's kind of a phoned-in character. Like, he's just like, hey, I'm here.
What is my motivation? Found it.
When he re-meets Jada, this is something that's confused both of us. They dance to Take Me to Church. And I'm just like, how do you dance to that in a club? Like, they're in a club.
They're in a club.
They're in a club.
And it's kind of sexually dancing, like...
And I'm just like, but the beat to that song is so slow and not in, like, a sexy, slow song way, you know?
And
Like...
It's not a very, like, sexy song
No.
lyrically either.
You could have picked anything else, and so then, because this is who I am, and it's my favorite thing to happen to the internet, I said Hotline Bling. And then Chelsey kind of laughed me off, and I'm like, no. Ever since you left the city, you started wearing less and going out more.
Jada.
Glasses of champagne out on the dance floor.
Hanging out with some girls I never seen before.
It's her, like...
It's Hotline Bling!
It's Hotline Bling. It's just ridiculous how, like, the song is so accurately portraying her. Like, it's weird.
Other things that were introduced, like the sweeper.
Creeps me out.
Yep. Great job there. The sweeper is like this mass of like flesh and metal because he's constantly trying to fix himself.
Oh, it reminds me of the monster from Supernatural who's constantly like adding body parts to himself. He was creepy.
Sounds creepy.
Yeah.
Also, you said Labyrinth?
Oh, in Labyrinth, you know, repping the Labyrinth. The tunnel cleaner, which is just like this big monster that's like mechanical monster that's like...
I thought it wasn't a mechanical monster.
It's not. There's like, it looks like a mechanical
Yeah.
monster and it chases them and then turns out it's two goblins like on a bicycle in the back.
That was super creepy, and he ends up like trapping Mac and Jada and strapping them to a table and...
Gonna fix them.
Yep. Mac's brain and Jada's heart. And then, so the only way to free herself is Mac uses a spell from the Shisardoob, and that goes exactly how you would expect it would when you take a spell from the evil, evil book.
She's crazy now.
Yep, possessed.
Who knows what's gonna happen? Is she gonna kill Barons? Is she gonna kill the Nine? Is she
He's
gonna
totally
kill
gonna
Riordan?
screw it out of her.
It's a tried and true method in this series.
He's totally gonna screw it out of her.
I can think of so many fucked up ways that they're gonna try and do this. Christian. Turner Priya. Again.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. That'd be good.
Hey, she's too focused on wanting...
How does a book want sex?
Well, I don't know. It's attached to her body and like...
They're gonna make little baby books that'll grow into bigger books?
I don't know, but they say once you like do it with an unseelie prince, it's all you want, right? So like, that's how you distract the psychopathic book, because now it has urges. No, she might release Cruz. That might be the big twist in the next book. She goes and she releases Cruz.
Oh, that would suck.
Who knows?
So anyways, I completely enjoyed this book.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't read it in public.
No, the sex scenes sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Sneak up.
Yeah, there's a line. Neither of us want to say this line on camera.
Nope, and we're not going to.
We're not going to.
So read the book, and I think you'll know when you see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, see you later, guys.